They have a plan for overthrowing our government, which they're executing. The plan starts with completely rewriting our history. They've done a pretty good job in that, with a lot of the textbooks and the schools, and of kind of writing a history where most of our kids learn about what an evil country we are. Then they destroy your heroes. That's what the burning down and the taking down of the statues are all about. That's not just like crazy, out of control activity. That's planned activity. You want to demoralize a country. First you make its history bad, and then you make every person associated with putting that country together an evil person. So we were founded by an evil person, Columbus. Our first, the father of our country is an evil person, George Washington. The author of our liberty, who wrote the greatest document on liberty in the history of the world, is an evil person. Lincoln's even an evil person because he had some racial theories that that were not acceptable. He had a fear that the slaves weren't ready to be emancipated, but he did do it. Why Grant? Well, Grant, because his wife was a slaveholder. Because he did win the war that ended slavery. He could get a little credit for that, but no, his statue was taken down also. Every one of our heroes, and that's how a country develops a sense of pride, right? Through history and heroes. They're all very, very bad. Religion is the opiate of the people. They're very, very anti-religion. Said the family should be, women should not need husbands. Husbands just mess up families. We shouldn't have private property. Property should be basically controlled by the state. We shouldn't have private education of any kind. Private education is banned. Should they get into office, they would do away with private education. That means no parochial schools of Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, Islam. That means no charter schools. That means no at-home education. They basically want you to go to a state school. And they also want you in daycare very early. That's how mommy is going to be able to, work and not have to have a husband who just messes things up, because the kid's going to go to a state-run daycare. And then they have a whole bunch of things they're going to teach the kid. Remember, this is a socialist Marxist organization. Yeah. And if you read the organizing principles of Marx, they are following every single cause violence in the main parts of the country, create a sense of the country being in great turmoil and chaos. They're funded by Soros, who tries to create chaos everywhere for some reason that only he could explain. He does it in Eastern Europe. Soros has funded somewhere near 20 district attorneys' races all throughout the country. They're people who should never be district attorneys. They hate police. They let criminals out of jail. And now, of course, they're the ones who are doing all these crazy things, like prosecuting those people in St. Louis for just defending their lives. The person doing that, Gardner, Soros put about $4 or $5 million on her campaign. He's one of her favorites. She's one of his favorites.
So it's a scary organization.
We are in a war. We're in a war for our way of life. We're in a battle for our way of life. If we elect Joe Biden, with the weakness that he's shown, he hasn't condemned any of this. I don't even know if he understands it anymore. But he doesn't have the backbone to handle something like this.